I'm always the first one to kick them in the balls. I want to be the first one to pat them on the back when they do it great.
Every time one turns on the TV, there is so much drama and things going on that literally the mind is just blown away. I'm not talking about drama in a technical sense, that is TV series or shows. Rather, I'm referring to the drama real people do on live television. Not to mention, honestly, people love it, and I guess that is why they do it in the first place. So once you turn on the live television and you go across different channels, you will see famous people sitting on those comfortable chairs and an interviewer dressed in a suit, always asking questions. The interviewees are the ones making the show, while the interviewers prompt them towards all the drama. Okay, so while we are at it, let's discuss those times when Dana White lost his mind on live TV. For starters, Dana White is an American businessman, and he is the current president of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, which is the largest mixed martial arts organization in the world right now. He is an amazing leader, and under his leadership, the UFC has grown into a globally popular multi-billion-dollar enterprise. On the other hand, the man is really active on everything, and when it comes to speaking, he doesn't hold back anything. From fighting to politicians, White has lost control at everyone who might have doubted him or stood in the way of his dreams. Before we have to wait further, let's take a look at 10 times Dana White lost his mind on live TV. Number 10. White refused Lyoto Makida's request.
Lyoto Machida wants it. He's been all over me. He's been aggressive about this thing. He went in and fought tonight. After he says, I want this shot.
The increment of money is a request made by everyone in all sorts of careers. The former light heavyweight champ Lyoto Machida did the same. Little did he know that White wasn't just going to hand him the money with his right hand. When Machida asked for the money for a short notice fight in July 11th, White replied, "When you accomplish all the things that Anderson Silva has accomplished, we'll pay you Anderson Silva money." Now that was savage. Anderson Silva, at that time, was the king of UFC. White didn't spare him another time when he turned down a short notice fight with John James at UFC 151 in September 2012. White said Lyoto has been crying for this title shot for a long time, and you know how this stuff goes. When you turn down the opportunity to fight, things start going in another path. White really isn't dealing with nonsense.
I definitely don't hate Machida. He's a nice guy. Do I think it was, a stupid move, what he did with the whole Anderson Silva money? Yeah.
Number 9. White lashed out at Georges St. Pierre at a press conference.
Conversation
About his problems. His problems aren't as bad as he thinks they are.
We all know when someone makes Dana White angry, he isn't going to stay quiet about it. Georges St. Pierre stepped away from the MMA to deal with his personal issues, and this wasn't handled well by White. During a press conference in November 2013, White said, "You owe it to the fans. You owe it to that belt. You owe it to this company, and you owe it to Johnny Hendricks to give him that opportunity to fight again, unless you're going to retire." Georges was upset over the remark, to which White made a public statement again after 2 months and said, "What I heard is Georges St. Pierre is upset about some of the things that I said at the press conference. If that's the case, call me man to man. Let's talk on the phone." Lorenzo still hasn't heard from him yet. If Georges St. Pierre wants to talk like a man, he can pick up the phone and call us or come see us face to face. Well, in this case, I think we all can agree that White was right.
Let me fight once, and you'll see in the first minute of the fight that what you just said is wrong.
Number 8. Conor McGregor was late to a press conference.
Sorry I'm late, I just don't give a f***.
Conor McGregor, a fighter who has gained titles such as featherweight and lightweight, when he showed up late to the infamous bottle-throwing press conference in August 2016, White expressed by saying, "He has to start respecting people's time, man. Yours, theirs, mine. The other fighters, David Copperfield's, everybody's." Another time when Conor was potentially leaving the UFC out of a deal for a boxing match with Floyd Mayweather Jr. in January 2017, White was not ready to give him his blessing. Instead, he said, "I've always shown Conor nothing but respect, and if he wants to go down that road with us, let me tell you, it will be an epic fall."
This is some man code stuff, it's just something you don't do.
Number 7. Tito Ortiz signed with another MMA company.
Tito's lost every fight he's had over the last 3 years or something, right?
Dana White is never easy on his fighters when one of them leaves UFC for another company. He is not letting them walk before shaming them a bit. So when Tito Ortiz signed up with Bellator MMA in September 2013, White said, "The dumbest human being to ever be involved in the sport, the most irrelevant fighter on the planet." Oops, that was harsh. I think White should give some flexibility to the fighters, shouldn't he? What do you guys say? Let me know in the comments below. Although we're not done yet. You are on a ride to hear a lot of things White has said on live TV.
I'm not the evil bastard everybody thinks I am.
Do you think this is his last chance, though?
Definitely his last chance.
Number 6, from liking Ken Shamrock to hating him.
He's trying to make himself relevant again. And if anybody can't see that, you're just f***ing stupid.
In November 2007, Dana White was appreciative of Ken, and he said, "I actually always liked Ken, and Ken and I always got along well. When he's coming up with crazy, he must be broke again. I've never said anything negative about Ken." However, things significantly changed in the year 2012 when White said, "I have absolutely zero respect for Ken Shamrock. I think Ken is a horrible human being." And in 2013, they had a feud, and White wasn't ready to let it go so easily. So he said, "Ken owes me $175,000, and I'm coming for it, Ken. I'm coming for the money, you piece of... You should have stayed wherever you are, hiding under the porch somewhere." Wow, that went really bad. Number 5, Jon Jones.
The thing that's sad is when you start saying, should we question everything John's ever done? He's the best.
Dana White has always been supportive of Jon Jones, as once he said, "John, I love you. You're not a matchmaker." However, tables turned when he stripped Jones of the light heavyweight title in November 2016. He said Jon Jones has blown it in every way, shape, and form. A guy with that much talent can blow it. Greatest talent ever, and the biggest screw-up ever.
The guy was doing drugs and drinking and doing all this stuff while he was dominating. Imagine if this guy was clean all the time.
Number 4, White responded to Shamrock's interview.
What have you done for mixed martial arts in the last 10 years? What have you done? You haven't done anything.
Frank Shamrock gave an interview on MMA in New York in October 2010. White had a lot to say in response to Frank. He said, "Frank Shamrock is an irrelevant jackass. You're a two-faced lying chump. That's what you are, Frank Shamrock." At another time, he said, "The guy is a clown. I have no respect for Frank Shamrock." White also shared in 2014 that he made his amends with Ken Shamrock, but Frank isn't someone he can be friends with.
I don't want to emulate Dana White. That's the point. That's all.
Number 3, Randy Couture is not a man outside cage.
I knew the whole time that he was doing the deal. Even when I was talking to him and he was lying to me, not even to my face.
Randy Couture is one of the most recognizable fighters in MMA. Though at first, White considered Couture as family. He has changed when Couture suddenly retired from the MMA as the UFC heavyweight champion in a power play to set up money fights. This led to various disputes, and between White and Couture was disturbed. In February 2013, White said the only time Randy Couture is a man is when he sets foot in the cage. As soon as his big toe steps out of the ring, he is the furthest thing from it. Now that was bold of Dana White.
There's no more of a man when that cage closes, and there's no less of a man when he steps outside of it.
Number 2, White was glad Tim Sylvia lost to Fedor Emelianenko.
That guy hasn't been fighting the best fighters in the world through his entire career.
Fedor Emelianenko defeated Tim Sylvia in a fighting match, and White couldn't be more happy about it, he said. But we all have to thank him for getting rid of Tim Sylvia. He'd been stinking out the joint for the last couple of years, and Fedor did everyone a favor by beating him so easily and getting rid of him. He also has no plans of taking Sylvia back into the UFC. As he said, Tim Sylvia's not in the UFC for a reason. It's not because he couldn't sign Tim Sylvia. He said this when Sylvia lost a couple of independent fights after departing from the UFC on his own will. Number 1, Loretta Hunt was brutally murdered by White through words.
Whoever gave me that quote is a pussy and a and a liar, you dumb bitch. You, Loretta Hunt.
Loretta Hunt is an MMA reporter who released a video in which he criticized UFC for not allowing fighters' managers into the dressing rooms with them. White didn't take this criticism lightly, and he was ready to teach Hunt a lesson. And by lesson, we mean Hunt was going to be roasted really, really bad. White said, "Hey Loretta, if you're going to write a story, you moron, at least make sure it's true and you have some facts in there," he ranted. "And if you're going to put some quotes in there, get some quotes from people who at least have the balls to put their name on it." Now that was some anger right then and there shown by Dana White. Now that you've heard all these things, I bet you're just shocked to the core. Even though Dana White has lost control many times, he still looks out for his fighters and is there for them. That being said, I would like to end this video. Subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos. Stay tuned.